You ever met a guy who has money, looks good, and still gets ignored by women? And then there's other guys with less money, worse looks, and women are magnetically drawn to them. That's not random, there's actually a system behind it. In fact, an ancient system which quietly determines who is attractive and who isn't. And it's been operating from the shadows for hundreds of thousands of years. I'm going to show you how it works, and you're going to look back at every interaction you've had with a woman and realize, oh, that's why I got rejected. Or, oh, that's why she liked me. So in this video, you're going to learn 1, what that ancient system is, and 2, how to use it to become magnetically attractive to women within just a few steps. We like to think that we choose who we're attracted to. We like to think it's about personality and shared values, and yes, those things matter. But underneath all of that is this much older, much more powerful instinctual force running the dating show. Think about it this way. For the vast majority of human history, survival was not guaranteed. The people who are alive today are the descendants of the ones who had the right instincts to survive, those who chose the right partners. So attraction isn't random. It actually evolved to push us towards a partner who increased our chances of survival. And here's where it gets interesting. There's a system, an ancient one, that maps out exactly what men need in order to survive, and how they search for those needs in a female partner, and exactly what women need to survive and how they search for those things in a male partner. Those survival needs essentially become the biggest drivers of attraction. The system is called the chakra system. Now before you switch off, I don't mean any spiritual woo-woo stuff, I mean something super easy to understand which you already know. So erase the idea that chakras are just some strange spiritual BS. Here's what chakras basically are, stripped from the spiritual woo-woo stuff. Chakras represent specific domains of your life. For example, physical survival, status, your brain. Each chakra represents a different domain. And in dating, what the chakra system is essentially describing, when you look at it through a biological lens, is a transaction between a man's chakras and a woman's chakras or domains of life, like a man's needs and a woman's needs. Basically, men who are strong in these domains naturally become more attractive, because they meet core survival needs of women. Thus, women are primed to pick men based on how strong their chakras are, because women are hungry for those chakras, and vice versa. Certain chakras in a woman give men exactly what they need to survive. Thus, men pick women based on how good their chakras are. It's a biological exchange between men and women that has been running since the beginning of human history. Hence, it's an extremely powerful force, and it governs every interaction you have with a woman. And by the way, all other dating and attraction advice falls under this framework and can be explained by this system. So I'm basically showing you a kind of meta theory, which explains a huge part of what drives attraction. And here's an overview of how the transactions work before we go deep into each one. First, the man gives his root chakra and receives the woman's sexual chakra. Second, the man gives his solar plexus chakra and receives the woman's heart chakra in return. And third, the man gives his throat chakra and receives the woman's third eye chakra in return. Transaction 1, the root to sexual chakra. The man gives his root chakra, which is material stability, money, resources, survival expertise, like the ability to build a house. The woman needs this because historically, without a provider, she and her children didn't survive. So in return, she gives him her sexuality, her sexual chakra, which is her reproductive ability. The man needs that because a man without a woman's sexual openness obviously can't produce any offspring. So that would be his need. Transaction 2, the solar plexus to heart chakra. The man gives his solar plexus, which is his status, his power, his social standing, his dominance, the physical and social capability to shield her from threats. The woman needs this because once her survival is handled, her brain immediately starts scanning for predators and social danger because she is vulnerable. A man who can't command his environment keeps her nervous system flooded with stress, with cortisol, and a man who can't reduces her cortisol. And then in return, she gives him her heart, her care, her love. A man needs that because men typically aren't at home in their heart. So a man who isn't loved by his woman is just a utility. Without her love and affection, he doesn't feel alive. Transaction 3, the throat to third eye chakra. The man gives a vision, humor, creative expression, a stimulating mind, a sense that life will be interesting with him. A woman desires this because otherwise she is, to put it bluntly, bored or understimulated. So a man stimulates her with his throat chakra, and in return, she elevates his vision. She engages with it, challenges it, refines it, becoming the sounding board that sharpens what he is building in his life. A man needs that because a vision held alone stays abstract, it's just an idea, and a woman who genuinely believes in it makes it become reality. So the system is simple. Each chakra is a domain, and men and women want a certain domain from the opposite sex. You give her what her biology needs, she gives you what you need. And attraction is the mechanism that makes both sides want to get it from the opposite sex. And I know it sounds cold and dehumanizing that attraction is driven by a transaction, but that's just the uncomfortable reality. And a lot of people get triggered by this topic, which I understand. But it's super important to understand because it is reality. And if you ignore it, it works against you unconsciously and you pay a hefty price for it. I would even say loads of men struggle to get women because they don't understand the chakra system yet. So the sooner you grasp it, the faster you'll get the women of your dreams. So back to the framework now. The core of it is the stronger your root chakra, solar plexus chakra, and throat chakra, the more attractive you'll be to essentially 99% of women. The chakra system is universal, it's archetypal, hence it transcends culture and looks. It's why so many ugly guys still get women, because a woman's survival doesn't depend on his pretty or ugly face, it depends on something else, his root chakra. Of course, there are secondary factors like shared values which drive attractiveness, but the chakras have a way bigger impact. And vice versa, if you're a woman and you're more able to give your sexual chakra, your heart chakra and third eye chakra, the more attractive you will be, and guys won't even realize what you're doing. And disclaimer, in this video, I will only be talking about what a man can do to become more attractive. So we're only going to look at the core male chakras. Of course, there's just as much what a woman can do to become more desired by men, but that's for another video. Now let's go through each chakra transaction properly, as well as how to strengthen it so you become more attractive. But first, if this is your first time here, I'm Henry, I'm a men's coach, and I help guys overcome anxiety and build confidence. I teach that which the self-help industry is too afraid to tell you. Hit subscribe if you're new here, let's get into it. Transaction 1, the root chakra to sexual chakra. The root chakra is the domain of physical survival. This domain is ancient and it revolves around one question. Am I going to survive? Now here's the key, a woman's instincts are running this exact calculation. Am I going to survive? But she's running it about you. Before she's even aware of it, her brain is scanning your root chakra. For example, if you meet her at a bar, her brain is unconsciously scanning your root. It's asking, can this man provide me the resources I need to survive? Is he physically capable of that? For hundreds of thousands of years, a woman who chose a man who couldn't secure food, couldn't build shelter, well, she didn't make it, and her children didn't make it. So female biology evolved a ruthless filter. A weak root chakra doesn't just make you less attractive, it triggers a deep subconscious alarm in her nervous system where her body registers you as a threat. This is also why guys who have a weak root chakra, which are typically nice guys, often get despised by women, or women get super angry at them. But with a strong root, her survival alarms turn off, her body gets the signal, it's safe here, and that safety is the first gate to attraction. The archetype of a man with a strong root chakra is that of the provider, the builder. Think lumberjack or plumber, a man who masters the physical world, who can fix things and can turn chaos of the physical world into order. That man is attractive. In practice, this looks like learning manual labor, getting your finances stable and organized, building a fit body, cleaning up your house, and carrying yourself with that quiet groundedness, not arrogance, just the energy of a man who isn't scrambling. If you're able to provide resources, protection, and shelter, a woman will respond by giving you her sexual chakra, her sexuality, her sensuality. I made a full video on exactly how to activate your root chakra, the specific steps for quick results. I'll link it up here. If you feel like your root is shaky, go and watch it after this video. Now here's where most guys stop. They think, get the money, get the body, and then I'm done. And then they're confused when they've got both and women are still ignoring them. Or they're in a relationship and their girlfriend still feels distant, picks fights, and doesn't look at them the way she used to. That's because the root is only the first gate. The second one is where almost everything falls apart, and almost nobody really talks about it. Transaction number 2, solar plexus chakra to heart chakra. The solar plexus chakra is the domain of social safety and hierarchy. So the root was about physical safety, now we're moving to social safety. Once a woman's instinct has cleared you, once she knows that you can provide, her next instinct kicks in and starts scanning for the next need. Can this man protect me from social threats? Is this a man who has power and status in society? When a woman feels unprotected walking down the street, when she feels like she's at the bottom of a social hierarchy, her body is flooded with cortisol, the stress hormone. She can't relax, she stays guarded. But when a man has a strong solar plexus chakra, when he's socially powerful, has high status, and is capable of being assertive and handling conflict without falling apart, something measurable happens in her brain. Her cortisol drops, serotonin gets released, and her nervous system literally downregulates. She feels calm and safe. He acts as a social shield, and her body responds to that shield the same way it has done for hundreds of thousands of years, with attraction. A man with a strong solar plexus chakra is best depicted with the archetype of the leader, the alpha. The man who naturally exerts dominance and commands respect. A man who people look up to, who people feel protected by. He doesn't need to dominate, but everybody knows he could. He handles conflict without losing himself. He doesn't collapse when she gets emotional. He doesn't disappear when things get hard. Think of the image of a man who other men respect and who other women feel safe around. That's the solar plexus. And this is a layer I work on a lot with the guys in my coaching program because it's the most invisible. You can see if somebody has a good body, but this is felt, it's more subtle, and most men have never been taught how to develop it. In practice, this looks like developing confidence and assertiveness, learning emotional regulation, staying calm when she's upset, when a situation is tense, when somebody challenges you, building social confidence, speaking up in groups, holding your position in a disagreement, not shrinking when somebody pushes back, having standards and enforcing them, not being aggressive, but being grounded. Overcoming social anxiety is actually a big part of building your confidence and assertiveness, so your solar plexus. And I made a video that explains how to overcome that fear of other people's judgment, link up here. If you have status, power, and confidence, a woman will respond by giving you her heart chakra, her love and care. Now, these two first transactions are the most important when it comes to attractiveness. A strong root chakra and a strong solar plexus chakra will make you magnetically attractive. Now, I go deeper on the specific internal shifts that build your solar plexus chakra, and I write about that in my newsletter, the frameworks I use with my clients, the exercises that actually move the needle. It's free and it's weekly, and it's built for men who want to become more attractive to their partner or women in general. The sign-up link is in the description. So now you can provide physical safety and social safety, 2 out of the 3. And honestly, a man with a strong root chakra and solar plexus is already in the top tier of what most women encounter. But the third chakra, this is what takes you from attractive to magnetic, from a man she respects to a man she is genuinely captivated by. Transaction 3, the throat chakra to the third eye chakra. The throat chakra is the domain of cognitive stimulation. This is what makes us distinctly human. Language, abstract thought, imagination, creativity, humor, vision. And here's the thing about a woman's mind. You could say it wants to be stimulated, it wants to be inspired. Without it, it might become bored or lethargic. So picture this. A woman is with a man who provides her well and makes her feel safe. Her survival alarms are off, her stress hormones are low. But now her mind or her third eye seeks inspiration and stimulation. Because if a man can feed her and protect her, but can't make her laugh, can't paint a vision of the future that excites her, can't surprise her with how he sees the world, her brain might become bored. Evolutionarily, a man with a high active, creative, expressive mind signals something crucial. This man can solve unpredictable, future problems. Such a man is not a basic survival tool. He's a complex, high-value mate who can navigate the unknown. And that is deeply biologically attractive, because the future is always unknown, and a woman's biology wants a man who can handle it. The archetype here is the visionary, the storyteller, the man who has a compelling perspective on life, who can make a room laugh, who has a high vision for his future that pulls people in, who expresses himself with confidence and creativity. Think of the image of a man who's genuinely interesting to talk to, who you leave a conversation with feeling more alive than before, who has opinions, ideas, humor, and a clear sense of where he's going. That's the throat chakra. And it's what makes a woman not just attracted to you, but fascinated by you. In practice, this looks like developing a vision for your life, knowing where you're going and being able to articulate it. Cultivating your sense of humor, not performing jokes, but learning to see the world with lightness and play. Expressing your actual opinions instead of just agreeing with what's safest to say. Creating something, a project, a business, a craft that reflects who you are. And communicating with presence, making eye contact, speaking with conviction, not trailing off or apologizing for your perspective. If you have a vision, humor, a woman will respond by gifting you with her feminine insight and wisdom, her third eye chakra. If you want to learn more concrete ways how to activate your chakras, make sure to subscribe so you see the next time I upload videos on this topic. If you want to become more attractive as a man, build your chakras. You got to understand this chakra framework is operating unconsciously in any room you walk into. It's a force which has been developing for hundreds of thousands of years, so it's extremely powerful. Hence, women pick up on your chakras all the time. So it has an immense impact on your aura and whether women notice you and want to be with you. So if you want to become more attractive, this is exactly what I help men do in my coaching program. We analyze how well developed your chakras currently are. Then we build a concrete plan to strengthen them, and I help you implement that plan, which ultimately makes you more attractive in a short amount of time. My clients go from nice guy with a weak solar plexus chakra to confident leader within just a few weeks. The single men I work with go from single to dating within a few sessions, or from a sexless relationship to a passionate relationship within just a few weeks. By the way, if your relationship lacks intimacy and sex, it's very often because both of you are unhappy with the current chakra transaction that's occurring in your relationship, which by the way is very easily fixed. There are many simple methods in my coaching program which I teach which activate your chakras. If you want those methods, you can book a free one-to-one clarity call below in the description. Quick question, drop it in the comments, which of these 3 chakras do you think is your biggest gap right now? The root, the solar plexus, or the throat? I'm genuinely curious and I read your comments. So let's bring the whole thing together because this is where it should click for you. Biology is the strongest driver of attraction. Not personality quizzes, not dating strategies, it's biology. Because for hundreds of thousands of years, attraction wasn't a feeling, it was a survival calculation. And the chakra system, the transactions, is a map of that calculation. The root, you provide physical safety, she gives you her sexuality. The solar plexus, you provide her status and power, and she gives you her love and care. And the throat, you provide vision and expression, and she elevates your vision and helps you refine it. That's the exchange, that's the system, and it has been running quietly, invisibly in every interaction between men and women since the beginning of human history. The men I work with in my coaching practice, when they finally see this framework, something shifts because it's so simple. It makes so much sense and they stop trying to fix the wrong things like just hitting the gym without actually building confidence, or like just building wealth but without building a higher vision. They stop that and they start building their chakras, and the results follow. If this video gave you something, make sure to subscribe. I break this stuff down every week, and if you know a guy who's been grinding on the wrong things, who can't figure out why nothing's clicking, why he's not attracting women, send this video to him. This video might be the thing that finally makes it click for him. And again, I write a weekly newsletter where I go deeper on these topics with practical steps that you can easily implement in your life. It's free and it's built for analytical thinking men. Link is in the description. And go watch the root chakra video next with practical implementation steps. I'll link it up here. That's where everything starts. I'll see you in the next video.